Good morning, and welcome to the pre-service meditation offered by Centers for Spiritual Living in Greater Baltimore. We're glad you're here. So this morning I would like for you to get comfortable, and if you're able to, close your eyes, straighten the back, and let's connect with the breath. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, excuse me, and exhale through the mouth. We're doing that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale with a sigh or a ah. And now, breathing exclusively through the nose, being aware of the breath. We inhale fully, and we exhale completely. Keeping the breath slow, soft, smooth, silent, and sacred. Just be aware of the breath. And if the mind drifts away from the breath, that's okay. Just lovingly bring your awareness back to the breath. And no matter how slowly you are breathing right now, breathe a little slower. Not forcing it, just being it. And now bring your awareness to the crown of your head, the top of your head. And with that beautiful gift called imagination. Imagine that this relaxation feels like water flowing down a mountain. As it flows from the top of the head, down the face where the eyes are relaxed. The jaws are relaxed. The lips are relaxed. Allow the relaxation to flow down the neck, the throat, and now across the shoulders. Allowing the shoulders to go loose and limp. Just let them go. As we continue to breathe, we feel the relaxation flowing down the forearms, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, through the wrists, down the backs of the hands, through every digit of the fingers. Now relax the palms of the hands, and we breathe. bringing our attention back to the neck, we relax the neck and the shoulders. And now feel the relaxation flowing down the back, going through every vertebrae. Where the upper back is now relaxed, let it go. The middle back is relaxed, let it go. And now the lower back is relaxed, let it go. And we breathe. As we inhale, we bring our awareness once again back to the shoulders. Just letting the shoulders go. We need carry nothing from the shoulders. Let it all go. And now feel that relaxation flowing down the front of the body where the chest is now relaxed. The solar plexus is relaxed. Let the abdomen go. And now feel the relaxation flowing through the groin, down the thighs, through the knees, down the calf muscles and the shins. How it flows through the ankles, down the tops of the feet, through each and every toe. Feel the balls of the feet relax, the soles of the feet relax. Now relax the heels, and we breathe. With the mind's eye, become aware if there is any tension still held in the body temple at all. And if there is, bring your awareness to that tension. Inhale, and on the exhale, allow that tension to dissipate, to go away. Let it go. Good. And we bring our awareness back to the breath. As we are aware of the breath, we allow the breath to guide us into the throne room of the heart, that inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies, that place of the Most High Presence, that is the I am of our being. And we breathe. Imagine sitting in the presence of this I am of your being. Listening as if this will be the most important thing that you hear. For we have come here to this space in order to prepare the way for celebrating the divine truth. hear ourselves mentally ask the question, what must I do to prepare the way for celebrating the divine truth? And with an open heart, we listen. Peace. Be still. Be still. And know. In order for us to prepare the way, what is to be released? What is to be let go? And we listen. And as we have released all that would get in the way of our preparation, we are now open, receptive, and available to accept the guidance in preparing the way and celebrating the divine truth. What is to be accepted? And we breathe. As we open ourselves even more fully to the I am being that is the essence of our being, we choose to ask the question, what gifts do I bring in celebrating divine truth? What gifts do we bring individually and collectively as a community? And with an open heart, we listen. And so the way has been prepared. And as we bring ourselves back to this plane, we stand in the knowing that out of the stillness, the activity of spirit is activated. Out of the silence, the word of spirit is spoken. And so I speak this word of gratitude, grateful for this beautiful opportunity to hold this with the divine I am of our being. Grateful for the willingness in preparing the way for celebrating divine truth. And as we become aware of the room that we're in, we give thanks for this opportunity. As we become aware of the body temple, we give great thanks for this instrument of spirit that lives, moves, and has its being in, through, and as us. In gratitude, I release this time knowing that it is always here in the nowness of the breath. So this concludes this morning's pre-service meditation. For right now, hold that space of stillness. Hold that space of peace. Peace and blessings.
All you need to know is you're safe again. Life is caring for all. Feel the ground beneath your feet again. Each step is taking you home. Home to the trust in life. Home to the basic trust in life. Home to the trust you feel inside. Home to the basic trust in life. All you need to know is you're free again. Life will carry you on. Put a smile onto your face again. Each breath is taking you home. Home to the trust in life. Home to the basic trust in life. Home to the trust you feel inside. Home to the basic trust in life. La 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 la. The basic trust in life. La 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 la. Basic trust in life.
Good morning. Ooh, excuse me. Good morning all, and good Sunday morning all. Woo! Ha! Ha! We've been prepped by pre-service meditation and then prepped some more by that lovely selection by Safi. And woo, we're ready now. All right. So, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. Ha! I am your host, Tracy Rhymes. Our senior minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, is our speaker for today. Our musician is Sophie Lynn. The pre-service meditation was led by practitioner Eugene D. Holden. Serving as today's practitioner is Rita Cordes. Our sign language interpreters assisting with making this service open and inviting and accessible to the deaf community are Rainica Permaletta and Sonia Chavis. Working behind the scenes, flying solo, is Frank Matthew. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for serving. Ooh, all right. Now, before Rita comes, whoops, I went a little too far. Before Rita comes and grounds us in prayer, let me share this about her. Rita Cordes grew up as a country girl in upstate New York and eventually ended up in Maryland via Georgia and North Carolina. People fascinated her as her world grew smaller, and Maryland enriched her with further education in nursing, counseling, psychology, and science of mind. She always thought people had a special goodness in them. Some did not recognize it, and others were receptive to know what that was about. Science of Mind put that in perfect words. You are divine. As she explored more about science of mind, she became a licensed practitioner in 2015 and continued to know the truth for others that you are a divine expression of God. Currently, Rita co-leads a virtual spiritual living circle and is a Reiki practitioner, enjoying participating in 2 virtual book clubs and taking classes and webinars in Science of Mind. I give you Rita.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Thank you. It is wonderful to be here, and thank you, Tracy, for that introduction. Please join me in this opening prayer, spiritual mind treatment, affirming this truth. I know right now I am never separate from God. This omnipresence of the one loving presence is the foundation of everything I see. No one is excluded from this holy energy flow, and everyone is free to express this loving spirit in any way they desire. For me, it brings joy and reverence and kindness, inclusion, compassion. I let this divine wisdom fill me as I listen to my intuition. And from this, I learn that everything matters, that love is expressed, and anything is possible. I let my divine wisdom guide the way. I notice that you and I and everyone else are co-creators with the divine. we are one with this magnificent, powerful, all-knowing spirit. In my daily practices, I return to this holy, sacred place, to this loving, life-fulfilling spirit. I listen and choose those thoughts which inspire and enhance. I form ideas that become clear on what is true. I connect with the divine and let it express through me. This is who I am. I take time to be still and listen, and then move forward from a fulfilling, compassionate vision. I am grateful for this teaching, for the wisdom and harmony and joy it has brought into my life. Every day I embrace the eternal and progressive expansion of spirit in me. I am grateful for this, my divine truth. I want to acknowledge and give thanks to Reverend Raymont for his message today, and to Tracy for facilitating this service, to Eugene for that wonderful meditation before our service, to our wonderful interpreters, and to this lovely musician, Safi, and her beautiful voice, and all those involved in the technical work in presenting this virtual service today. I know Frank is so involved in it. And to everyone here attending this virtual service, thank you for joining us, As this is released to the law of mind, I also express deep gratitude for the peace and love of spirit that surrounds and is within us. I let it be so, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Rita. All right, so the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. Whew. I have a few announcements for you. We currently have 2 weekly ongoing ways to study, to learn, and discuss. Wednesday nights, the Science of Mind textbook exploration group, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And you also can get a taste on Thursday nights, the study group facilitated by Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Here's a friendly reminder that the 2021 spiritual journals are in. You can get your copy today by going to shop.csl.org. All right. There's still time. Virtual holiday festivities. Are you interested in planning something? Send an email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org to arrange and schedule. Schedule. I want to pronounce that word correctly. All right, membership. Membership. If you are interested in becoming a member or renewing your membership, the Discovery class is available online. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter at www.cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information. And subscribe to CSLGB's YouTube page and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Definitely visit the CSL Greater Baltimore and the CSL Greater Baltimore Facebook page for more news and information. All right, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, on 3, we shout. Yes, we do. We shout, prayer works. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. All right. I know y'all said it. I know y'all said it with me. Y'all didn't leave me hanging. All right. So we, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Practitioners are available after today's service for one-on-one prayer and prayer requests. Prayer requests can be sent at any time to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. If you were with us after the pre-service meditation, you got a little taste. For those of you joining us for the first time, of our musician today, Safi Lynn is an international singer, songwriter, musician, and teaching artist who considers her music medicine to open hearts and feed the soul. With a performance degree from the Peabody Conservatory of Music, a #1 house music song in South Africa, 5 independently released albums with the 6th on its way, and a 2015 and a 2010 Individual Artist Award in Solo Performance from the Maryland State Arts Council. She sings songs channeled through her with a passion to open and connect hearts around the world. She is honored to also perform with her medicine music band, Overglow, and teach private voice lessons for those ready to release their singing voice and their fears using her own vocal ladder teaching method. To find out more about Safi, visit her website at www.sahffi.com. I give you Safi!
Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that so much. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to put you on gallery. I want to see everybody's faces. Or your names. I understand if you want to see. It's still early, right? But hey, Nancy, how are you? Yes, good to see everybody. I miss you all. This is a song I wrote a little bit earlier in quarantine. It's called Focus. Bittersweet turn me from the rain. Why am I fighting? Lives behind me are just seasons of growth. What am I learning? Stay completely still until I find my focus. Stay completely still. Stay completely still. Focus. Stay completely still and focus on my breath. Bittersweet is truth. It flows like waterfalls between me and you. Bittersweet this time. We've come together, but we don't know the next rhyme. Why are we fighting? When lives behind us are just seasons of growth. What are we learning? Stay completely still until we find our focus. Stay completely still. Stay completely still. Focus. Stay completely still and focus on our similarities, our peace and our clarity, love and humanity. We're all in this together. Bittersweet is death, but what is life without this old friend? Bittersweet our goodbye, but I know I'll see you on the other side. Why are we fighting? What lies ahead of us are seasons of growth. What are we learning? Stay completely still until we find our focus. Stay completely still. Stay completely still. Focus. Stay completely still. Stay completely still. Focus. Stay completely still. Stay completely still. Focus. Stay completely still and focus on my breath.
Woohoo! Woo! Okay, Reverend Ray gonna talk about me if I start singing. That was nice. Love it, Safi. Love it, Safi. Love it, Safi. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, so now Rita will lead us in a spiritual practice.
Thank you, Tracy. Our spiritual practice today, I've chosen a reading from the current issue of Science of Mind magazine. It is an article written by Deetra Johnson, and it's called Celebrating Divine Truth. A divine truth is an indisputable revelation in one's mind and heart, demonstrating their relationship with the God of their heart. During this holiday season, One indisputable truth is that lights are always a part of celebrations and rituals. Lights represent divine truth. Jesus was the way shower. He said, "I am the light of the world." Therefore, I accept this truth as my own, no matter what's happening in the physical world. I celebrate the fact that I am a light in the world. In celebration participation, Petra says, in preparing to host a party, we clean up our homes. Our homes represent sanctuary. So too, I remember to use my spiritual tools to create an atmosphere for celebration. I sweep my mind clean of negative thoughts. I assemble new thoughts of love, harmony, joy, peace. Dipping into my own soul, I find what has been calling to my heart. My mind shines with enthusiasm and gratitude, and the celebration begins. I open the doors of my home to invite guests into a place that has been prepared to celebrate. We combine our lights. There is interaction and respect among the guests who practice different religions. We agree there is a universal truth, a principle that runs through all religious traditions. God is the absolute truth. I acknowledge this truth and share in that joy with all guests of our earth. I dance in the celebration of this realization of my own soul. We activate our lights, the spiritual truth within us, and we share it with the world as a part of our soul's journey. One of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes is, "We are born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied with every good thing, to have fun in living, to consciously unite with the divine power that is around us and within us, and to grow and expand forever." That's honoring and celebrating the divine truth of our souls. And I'd like to read this meditation that was written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. I know there is but one power in the universe, and this power is God. This God power, I am. This power manifests in and through all form, all people, all conditions, and is at the very center of my being. This power is life itself, and its nature is love. It contains all wisdom, peace, strength. At the center of my being, I feel this perfection in me. I know it is all around me. Everywhere I turn, I behold it. It is my whole being. Every cell and atom of my being, my every thought and feeling, my every act is an expression of this God power. The intelligence within me is constantly guiding me. Clearly, I see the right thing for me to do. I know the right thing for me to say in every circumstance. This God intelligence within me deals with every situation harmoniously. I find life thrilling, stimulating. I know that love protects its own. I know that love now makes clear the way before me, eliminating every seeming obstruction. I am guided into an ever-widening unfoldment of being, and I rest in perfect peace. One with all life, my every need is now fulfilled. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Rita. All right. Are you ready? 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 Are you... Okay. Y'all get the point of the question. Are you ready? I know you are. You ready for this? Ready for me to go sit down and stop singing? He is.
So is Eugene.
Eugene is loving this right now.
No, he said sit down.
Okay, so Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, Senior Minister for the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. Woo! His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Revy Rev, come do what you do as you do what you do while you do what you do. De nada.
So good morning and greetings, everyone. Everybody doing all right today? It's holiday season, and I know sometimes the holiday blues can be a thing. But here we are in December 2020, the year of COVID. This is going to be, I'm affirming it, that in looking back, we are going to recognize, if we don't recognize it already, we're going to recognize that this has been, and was a year affording us the opportunity to shift, evolve, and change in many ways. And one of the invitations that we're getting right here, right now, through this month of December, is recognizing what it means to celebrate divine truth. The theme of the month is celebrating divine truth. What does that mean? What divine truth? What is this thing called divine truth that we are talking about recognizing? We're going to get to that in a second. Today's talk title, Preparing the Way. I don't know how many people are musical kind of folks, Broadway musicals and such, but there's a Broadway musical called Godspell, and if you see the film version, I mean, it's in the Broadway version, but you can like go on YouTube and look for the film version and look for this song. So that's why I'm mentioning the, leave me alone, Tracy, quit messing with me. That's why I'm mentioning the film version of it. And in the film version, there is a song, Prepare Ye the Way of the Lord. And in this, you see various people releasing the things that have been preventing them from joyously celebrating their divinity as they come together to sing and dance in a fountain where John the Baptist is baptizing them. So they're letting go, they're shedding things. Some it's bags and others it's shoes, and like they're shedding stuff, they're letting go of things. This can be seen as our invitation to ask, what are we holding on to that inhibits and prohibits our ability to exhibit our divinity? What are we holding on that's blocking us? What are we holding on that's weighing us down? What are we holding on that is that is stifling our ability to let that which God is as us be and express. How do we prepare the way for Christ consciousness? And what is this thing, Christ consciousness, that we're referring to? What is it?
What is it?
Tracy, for some reason, thinks this is an opportunity to sing musical songs. And how do we demonstrate Christ consciousness? How are we being invited to prepare the heart for the winter season, physically, spiritually, socially, etc.? So how do we prepare? How do we prepare the way? What does it mean to be preparing the way? Well, some of the things we're going to talk about are, as I go backwards, one, embrace the fullness of your depth and form. Embrace the dark of night and shine your light. Explore, express your Christ consciousness. Explore and express yourself as Lord. And engage in collective, creative collaborations. So if you are ready to actively prepare the way, let's go further. Jacob Lieberman says, what we call our shadow is nothing more than an aspect of our nature waiting to be embraced and reclaimed. For those of you who joined us last week when Dr. Ronnie was our guest speaker, she masterfully dove into what this whole shadow aspect is. This dark side, this shadow side, this aspect that we tend to deny and denounce and try to metaphysically bypass away. And she mentioned this idea as it shows up in art. And we recognize these things. We see circle, square, rectangle, triangle. We see them. And there's no shading. Well, keep in mind that where there is no shadow, there is no depth, and there is no form. But when we have shadow, when we have shading, then we know shadow, we know depth, and we know form. So the shadow is not meant to be denied or denounced or suppressed, as Dr. Ronnie said. But when we embrace and understand what it is, we recognize that it's a tool that helps us to express who and what we are and our true divinity. We're no longer trying to be the pious, the holier than thou, the self-righteous, the those that dost thou thither and hither, to whereforth doth we go, for our don't stink. The shadow is a tool. If God is all there is, and there is this aspect of the shadow, then the shadow must be something that exists within the consciousness of, and if it can aid us in evolving and shifting and growing into our greater yet to be as divine beings, then it's not the enemy. Keep that in mind. It is not the enemy. And we pause and we breathe. So this season, this time of year, many focus on the idea of the winter solstice. So there are a lot of folks who don't focus on Christmas specifically, don't focus on Hanukkah, don't focus on Kwanzaa, like they don't focus on anything. The more pagan-like religions or spiritual practices focus on the idea of what does it mean to ground in Mother Earth and Father Sky, and what does it mean to be in the darkest time, the darkness of the year? What does this season afford us the opportunity to recognize? Well, if we think about Joseph Campbell, then this is an invitation to go to that place where the treasure resides. Joseph Campbell said, "The cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek." So the shadow, the darkness of night, that is where the treasure that you seek resides. What does that mean, though? And it's not necessarily saying that the darkness is the end-all, be-all, like it is the, Yes, darkness. But it serves a purpose. Yin, yang, darkness and light. They are complements, not opposites. And what we also recognize about this particular time of year is when we look at the darkness, when we think about the darkness, we recognize that this time of year we also balance it with the light. We recognize that whether it is the menorah of Hanukkah, the lights of Christmas, or the menorah of Kwanzaa, there is the lighting of candles, the lighting of lights, the restoring of balance, where we understand that it's not all darkness and it's not all light. Because if it was all light, then we wouldn't even be able to see the menorah. We wouldn't be able to see the Christmas lights. If it was so illuminated that it was so bright, we wouldn't be able to see it. But it's a balance between shadow and light, depth and form. 2 dimensions becomes 3. So where in our lives are we taking the opportunity to embrace, to balance, to align, to ground in what it is to be both and? Not to run from or hide from or deny, but to celebrate the truth of our being. And part of the truth of our being is, yes, we are that which God is. We are divine beings expressing and living this life. Yes. And in this form that we are in, we may experience sadness. We may experience grief. We may mourn. We may fall. And yet we may rise again. There's balance to be had. We may mourn and yet find joy. We may grieve and yet find love. Because the divine truth of our being is that's what we are. We are love. We are love made flesh. And if we deny any aspect of ourselves, rather than embrace it and heal it and reconcile it, if we deny it, then we are giving it free rein to metastasize. It grows, and it becomes the creature, the overwhelming demon that now binds us and enslaves us and forces us to suffer. But when we balance, when we recognize this idea of there is this truth of our being, the light of Christ consciousness that is the essence of all that we are, that this is the truth of our being, and we reconcile all aspects of ourselves as this, meaning we're not this thing one day and this other thing another day, meaning we're not aligning in Christ consciousness right here, right now, just because Eugene led us in pre-service meditation. We're not simply aligning in or as Christ consciousness because Rita opened us with the opening invocation and the in-service spiritual practice. We're not simply aligning and grounded in Christ consciousness because Safi illuminated us and rose our vibration with her song. Both and. We were Christ consciousness when we were asleep. We were Christ consciousness before we went to bed last night. We are Christ consciousness when we're stuck in traffic. We're Christ consciousness when we're constipated. We're Christ consciousness when we're angry at the person in the checkout line. We're Christ consciousness all the time. Question is, how often to this all the time are we tuned in and plugged in and recognizing and aware of and celebratory of? It's the truth of who and what we are all the time. This cannot change. There are some days I may feel happy and some days I may not feel happy. But when I'm not feeling happy, I'm still the light of Christ consciousness. And the days that I am happy, I am still the light of Christ consciousness. On the days that I feel depression, I am still the light of Christ consciousness. That doesn't change. But when we learn to embrace all of the icky, yucky, uncomfortable parts of us, then we find that even in the darkness, even in the darkest of nights, the darkest of times, we are able to recognize that without the dark of night, the stars could not be seen to shine so brightly, guiding us, inspiring us, and illuminating the way. It is precisely because of the deep darkness of the night sky that we are able to see constellations that guide us through seasons and guide travelers. It is precisely because of the darkness that we are able to see the light of our beingness. And if we deny the darkness, then in essence, we are denying the light as well. So pause and breathe. So just briefly, let's recognize, because I know there are some who, for a variety of reasons, get stuck on or stumble over the linguisticness of Christ consciousness. The reason it's Christ consciousness is because Ernest Holmes and many of the New Thought founders grew up in and created New Thought in a predominantly Christocentric environment. And so, because it's very Christ-centered, Christ-centric, Christ consciousness is the focus. However, because consciousness knows no bounds, we can call it Christ consciousness, or Buddha consciousness, Avatar consciousness, the I Am consciousness, or the consciousness of infinite intelligence. It's all the same thing. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So call it what you want, but recognize and celebrate it as the truth of your being. That's what we're invited to do today. To get to a place of active spiritual practice where we are embracing the fullness and allness of who that we are, all that we are as God, showing itself in our thoughts, in our words, in our feelings, and in our actions. That there is no space where God is not. So God is everywhere that we are all the time. Right where you sit, God is. Right where you sing, God is. Right where you argue, God is. Right where you fuss and cuss, God is. Right where you close in and shut in and lock doors and pull shutters and cry, God is. It's always right where, right who, right as you are. And the moment we blend into and let it all wash over us and through us and breathe us, then we shift, we grow, we evolve, we recognize and we know that we know. And we walk differently, we speak differently, we serve differently. Ernest Holmes says, wake up. Your word is all powerful. Your consciousness is one with omnipotence. Your thought is infinite. Your destiny is eternal, and your home is everlasting heaven. Pause and take that in. Your word is all powerful. So what are you speaking with your word? Knowing that your word is all powerful, what words do you choose to speak? Words of I can't. Words of not possible. Words of, but I'll never be able to. But words are words of, but war is inevitable. But racism must exist. But sexism, are those the words that we choose to speak? Knowing that your word is all powerful. Your consciousness is one with omnipotence. The very omnipotence of all that is. then what are we choosing to think? What are we choosing to speak? What are we choosing to know? How are we choosing to be in the world? Because it makes a difference. Realize the truth. I am living in a perfect universe. It always was perfect and always will be perfect. And we pause, because in the perfection, do we not find the yuck and the muck? Do we not find the discord and disharmony and dis-ease? Yes. But that does not change the power and truth of the universe. What is true, period. The absolute is always perfect, always was, and always will be. And so, no matter how angry you get, no matter how pissed off you get, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many times you fall, you must be perfect. There must be that part of you that is beyond failure, is beyond illness, is beyond disease. The universe is, was, and will forever be perfect. God is, was, and forever will be perfect. And what it is, you are. So the perfection that is, was, and forever will be, the truth of your being does not change because we fall or fail, does not change because there is illness or discord or dis-ease. It doesn't change. Safi will tell you that the right and perfect A is always right and perfect. That perfect chord is always perfect, even when the strings are not in alignment and my A chord just sounds like a Q. The Q chord can't change the right and perfect A. And because the right and perfect A exists, I am able to tune my strings until I am now in alignment with the right and perfect A. So when I fall, then is it not time for me to tweak and align and twist and pray and meditate and be grateful and treat? Is it not time for me to vision? Is it not time for me to forgive and journal? Whatever my practice is that gets me back in tune with the truth of my being. And I must recognize that there is something out of tune in order to get back in tune. So recognizing the discord is how I get back to being of one accord. How often are we celebrating this truth? Wake up and know that you are whole, perfect, and complete. Right here, right now. No matter what pain in the back, no matter what pain in the cheek, no matter what pain in the shoulder, no matter what pain in the neck, no matter what is going on, there is a perfection. The universe is, it always was, and always will be perfect. So wherever we see discord, disharmony, dis-ease in the world, we know there is work that we can do to restore it and bring it back into the divine harmony of perfection that is. Because something's out of whack. Somewhere someone doesn't know, and they're acting from the I don't know. I don't know if Jim is on the call right now, but Jim and I, both being, Star Trek and Star Wars nerds. Tracy said nerds. Okay, nerds. I was going to say aficionados, but we know in Star Wars, Anakin Skywalker eventually succumbs to the dark side of the Force. But his son, Luke Skywalker, is determined and assists his father in finding the light side again. So Anakin loses his way. He falls out of harmony. He embraces the darkness in a way where it is all there is. There is no balance for him. It's all about the pain, because it was the pain that made him succumb to the dark side in the first place. The pain of leaving his mother, the pain of his mother being killed, the pain of his wife that he wasn't supposed to marry according to Jedi law, the pain of losing her because of a vision, the pain, the fear, the pain, the anger, the pain, and the manipulation turned him. And so he lost his way. How many of us lose our way because the pain is so great? Clearly, I'm not perfect. You know how many times I've failed and fallen? Do you know how many times I've broken my sobriety? Do you know how many times I've been addicted to this, that, or the other? Do you know how many times I have done whatever it is that I've done or thought whatever it is that I've thought? Do you not realize? Because if you did, you wouldn't love me. How could you? I don't love me. We know that we've either felt that or have known people who have felt that. We know that there are many that hate this time of year because it brings up sadness and grief and loss. But when we recognize and can celebrate the truth of our being and the truth of their being and the truth of all being, then the world shifts. Things change. So let's pause for a second. And for those of you who are quick on the keys, I want to know what all of these have in common. What do all of these images have in common? There's a particular word that all of them have in common. Anybody? In 5.
Enlightenment.
4. 3. Give you a hint. It's a 4-letter word.
Enlightenment.
3. It's a 4-letter word. 2. 1.
Hero.
Huh?
Hero.
Hero. Ha ha. The word is Lord.
Soul.
Lord
Love
Jesus.
And soul. Sorry.
No, you're good. Lord Jesus. Lord Hanuman.
Oops. Hold it.
You told me to hold it?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Telling them because I didn't get it.
Oh, you fell behind. Lord of the Rings, Lord Krishna, Lord you're not supposed to say his name, and Lord Vader. Lord. But what does that have to do with you? Well, Lord is a name or title for a person or deity who has authority, who has control, who has power. And drop that other part. We're not even going to talk about the other part. Because the power that we're talking about is the power. We understand that it's having authority, control, or power over our thoughts, our emotions, our experiences, and our lives. And the things that you named, like enlightenment and stuff, yeah, that's actually, it works. Because what we understand in the story, what we understand in the metaphysics of each of these representations is the path to oneness, the path to recognizing, the path to the infinite I am.
Someone here said gods.
Oh, thank you. I ain't got my glasses on. I can't see what you're doing over there. You finger spelling in the dark.
Okay.
Oh, I got you. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. So now what does this have to do with you then? Where are you demonstrating that you are the Lord in and of your own life? Where are you demonstrating that you understand and are applying what it means to have authority over your thoughts, your emotions, your experiences, and your life? What are you doing to demonstrate that you understand and are engaging in and practicing having control and power over your thoughts, emotions, words, experiences, life, etc.? Where are you demonstrating that you know this on a more consistent basis? Because maybe part of that shadow side is when I am with such and such, I am triggered. And when I am triggered, I lose control. So if you know that, if you are able to recognize that now, then what are you able to do to shift it so that when the trigger happens, You are less likely to be triggered until you get to the point where the trigger no longer exists at all. It's like CPR. I always say to folks, when is the best time to learn CPR? When someone needs it?
Nope.
Or before it's ever needed? Before it's ever needed. So why focus on getting rid of the trigger after the trigger has been triggered? I mean, in the beginning, yes, that's when it's going to happen. But the practice is, how and when do I engage in control of my breath, control of my knowing, control of my living, so that when this occurs, I am grounded, I am centered, I am awake, and I am aware. I know and know that I know, and I move from that knowing. Ernest Holmes says, since the explosion of the first atom bomb, we have read about the possibility of a physical chain reaction that might destroy civilization. As we understand it, civilization as we understand it might be destroyed by this atomic bomb thingy. There is another kind of energy that is even more important. This is the energy of faith, of affirmative prayer, and spiritual meditation. There is no reason to doubt that in the field of spiritual consciousness, a chain reaction could be created which would bless the world, making it a world that works for all. There is no reason to doubt that a chain reaction will not manifest a world that works for all. But okay, chain reaction. How do we get there? How do we develop this kind of energy? You do the exact same thing that other folks did or have done to shift or change the world. You gather together. For where two or three or more are gathered in the name or the nature of the infinite I am, that which is the nature of this perfection is. And the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. For we are stronger in numbers. When like-minded people come together and pool the resources of faith, of power, of love, when we pool our resources together, we change the world. We spiral up. Consciousness lifts and expands in the direction of that which is in accord with love and joy and bliss and spiritual magnificence. When we come together of one accord, when we gather to meditate as a community, when we gather to pray as a community, when we gather to eat as a community, when we gather to sing as a community, when we gather to study and practice as a community, the world changes. Has it not been said by Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world, for indeed it is the only thing that ever has. Are we that group of thoughtful, committed citizens who know that a world that works for all is not only possible, but is already in the midst? And are we not small in numbers, but large in consciousness, recognizing our power to come together and know this truth and change the world accordingly? Ernest Holmes says, once again, when a group of people come together with one accord, with one thought, a great power is generated. This is not because the creative principles respond to a number of people more than it does to one, but because the combined faith of a group reaches a higher level of consciousness. doesn't matter specifically the numbers, but it matters the intent. It matters the manner in which we come together. It matters in terms of how we align and how we walk the walk. Are we ready to prepare the way, to roll the red carpet of consciousness and walk accordingly, knowing that we are the Lord of our own lives, that we are the infinite I am that is ever becoming more and more of itself as us? Are we ready to practice this principle and live accordingly? What is the light of my being? The light of spirit? What is it indicating in and through and as me? What is this thing that what is it doing? What is it showing me? What is it trying to be in me and through me? And in my shining, what am I called to be, do, and to share with the world? Because if it's what I am, and I'm shining, even if I don't recognize it, then what is mine to be, do, and share? And since there seem to be sometimes where I don't seem to be as bright as I'd like to be, clearly there must be something that's causing me to take the dimmer switch of my life and turn it down, so I'm not shining that brightly. When I can't accept a compliment, when I can't be grateful for something or someone, when I can't give a compliment or speak a genuine word of, when I can't accept assistance and help, when I can't be grateful for, then I'm dimming my light. Anytime I criticize myself, I'm not good enough, I'm not sharp enough, I'm not quick enough, I'm not whatever enough. When do I tend to dim my light? With the title of Lord, what am I being called to steward in my life more effectively? How am I ruling and governing my most valued gifts, talents, qualities, and attributes? How am I stewarding the magnificence of my life? And what are these gifts, talents, and qualities? And how am I employing them? And if any one of us on this call or anyone watching YouTube later, if you feel like, or if the thought comes up, but I have no gifts, I have no talents, there are no qualities of me that would benefit the world or anybody else, then you're dimming your light. It simply means that somewhere someone convinced you something other than the truth of your being. Like Sidious convinced Anakin, Palpatine, convinced Anakin to be something else. Somewhere in our lives, someone convinced us of something that was untrue. Every one of us must have gifts, talents, and qualities, because what we are is the divine showing up as us. When do I tend to let others lord over me? When do I let others control me? Let others manipulate me? Let others dictate who I am and how I show up? In what ways do I gather with other like-minded lords to do the works of spirit as it shows up in, through, and as us? Where and when do I gather with others in classes or book study groups or prayer sessions or meditation sessions or Reiki sessions or something? How do I gather? Because if I'm waiting only for Sunday to Sunday to Sunday, while that is great, if we are finding ways to do it more frequently, and it could be small ways, because small ways make great impact. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to go meditate on a mountain for 10 hours every day of the week, because I'm not going to do it. And I ain't going to ask you to do something that I ain't willing to do. Although I might ask Tracy, never mind. Just saying. But in what ways do we gather together with other like-minded beings on a more consistent basis to pour into their lives and let their lives pour into ours, so that we are always giving from the overflow? Could it be classes, study groups, book discussion groups, affinity groups? And then lastly, what does it look like in my life to live in alignment with the consciousness of Christ, Buddha, the Atman, the infinite intelligence, the avatar, the whatever it is by any name. What does it look like? What does it feel like in my life to live in alignment with this consciousness, this truth of my being? This is your invitation to, journal about and think about and contemplate about and have conversation with someone about. Because the more we engage in this practice, the more we keep the gears oiled, the smoother the machine will run. Today's affirmation declaration is, I'll read it first and then together. Peace, joy, and the fires of illumination in my heart outpicture as peace, joy, and the fires of illumination in the world. My power is a direct demonstration of my acceptance and conscious expression of the Christ consciousness. Together. Peace, joy, and the fires of illumination in my heart outpicture as peace, joy, and the fires of illumination in the world. My power is a direct demonstration of my acceptance and conscious expression of the Christ consciousness. And we breathe, let all of that in. Breathe and simply prepare the way for another magnificent Lord to now take the stage as Safi will grace us and bless us with simply one of her many gifts, talents, and prayers of song. Put your hands together for Safi Lynn.
Thank you very much. That was great. And a wonderful reminder that I wanted to tell you all that I'm hosting an online medicine music meditation tomorrow night at 7 for the new moon. So it's another opportunity to just sit with your shadows in the darkness of the new moon and honor them while you listen to me play music for you. I'll be doing it live from my Facebook, or you can find me later on YouTube. This also, he was talking about singing together. I was like, yes, let's sing together. I know we can't hear each other, but it definitely, I feel it, especially when I see your faces and we're all singing together. I do feel it. This is a song by Lisa Thiel and can catch on pretty quickly. We'll do it a few times. And I invite you to sing along, and it's great to see you all. Thanks for having me. Blessed angels, come be with me, heal my spirit, mind and body. Blessed angels, come be with me, heal my spirit, mind and body. Blessed angels of green and gold, heal my heart, heal my soul. Blessed Blessed angels, come be with me. Heal my spirit, mind and body. Blessed angels, come be with me. Heal my spirit, mind and body. Blessed angels of green and gold, heal my heart, heal my soul. Blessed angels of violet and blue, open my eyes to the vision of truth. Thank you for singing along. It's beautiful. Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone. I miss you. I love you so much. Thank you.
The love and appreciation right back to you, Safi. I'm sure everybody, if you are able to, you can click the little emoticon thing that says reactions, click the little heart thing or the little thing, the little thing that throws the little confetti thing, so Safi knows that love is reciprocated. We love you too. You know that, right? You know that, right? Tracy, is she nodding? Because if you don't know that, then I'm gonna go get the van outside and I'm gonna drive to everybody's house. I'm gonna pick everybody up. We're gonna wear masks and we'll wrap ourselves in saran wrap just to be, COVID safe. But we're gonna all drive to your house and do COVID safe saran wrap hugs, just so you know.
Thank you. I feel it.
Oh yes! Wow.
Frank put on his mask.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for that, Frank. That added, yes, I am ready, Reverend Ray. Let's get in the van and go. So at this point of service, we recognize that from the overflow we give, we support the spiritual community where we are spiritually fed, where we recognize the work that we as a community are doing to shift and change and, in essence, not necessarily, quote unquote, heal the world, but to bring this truth that we recognize to the world so that healing occurs. Because we know, what do we always say? There is nothing that needs to be healed, only truth to be revealed. So when the truth is revealed, then healing is a natural byproduct of that. And as we awaken more and more people to their own spiritual magnificence, and this truth is recognized and celebrated, then a world that works for all, a world that is demonstrating this healing must occur. So at this point in service, we tithe and offer in ways that support not only, like I said, where we are spiritually fed, but also that we are supporting how the center operates. We are supporting the expansion of what we are moving into as a new building. We are expanding into what we are recognizing as an expanded community. And so for those who may be new, we are recognizing at this point that the practitioner core of CSL Greater Baltimore has pledged $5,000. This is in addition to their regularly scheduled tithing, $5,000 by the end of this year, which is in a couple of weeks, that there will be $5,000. And at this moment, it is $4,722.50, which I know is not an accurate number right now because I already put a check in the mail, so that means Sue hasn't gotten it yet because I know this number is higher than that. So we recognize and we are appreciative of the practitioners. We're also appreciative of the community for matching thus far $1,250, matching towards that $5,000 as well. So blessings to the community. And to the anonymous, whomever they are, tither, donor, who has said that they will match whatever the community matches. Woo-hoo! So if the community matches $3,000, they will match $3,000. So up to 5, this person will match. So this is 3 ways that we are actively demonstrating what it means for CSL Greater Baltimore to expand financially, to expand in terms of prosperity, to expand in terms of the good work that we are intending and starting to do and moving more and more into the world. So thank you. Grateful to, through, and for you all.
Yes, thank you.
Now, how do you do so? If you're not aware, how do I tithe?
How?
You can do so through PayPal,
What?
text messaging, or the postal service.
Yes.
Because that's still where I love getting mail. Tracy will tell you.
Yes.
So, postal mail.
And we love our postal.
Yes, our postal, we got a great postal service person.
Yes.
So any of these work, and if you want more information, you can always go to the website. And if there's some specific way you would like your tithe or donation to be divided, 50% towards youth ministry, 50% towards music, or 20% towards building, 80% toward, like, you can divide or separate however you want, or you trust the Board of Trustees to be the amazing, excellent stewards that they are to choose where and how to lord the finances accordingly. Together, let us declare our prosperity declaration together. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. We breathe. Breathe in gratitude, breathe out joy, gratitude, love, and appreciation.
Woo!
And as Tracy always reminds us, make today an awesome day. No matter what the temperature is, no matter if it's cloudy or sunny, no matter if it's rainy or dry, no matter what is what, find a way to bring joy and love and laughter into your day today. And if there's anyone on the call who would like to stay to meet with today's practitioner on duty, Rita, for one-on-one prayer, spiritual mind treatment, type in the chat box prayer, and Tracy will know to hook you up with Rita for one-on-one prayer after service. And in a moment, Frank and or Tracy and or Jim, if Jim is on, will unmute everyone so you can sing hello, I love you today, like whatever it is you need to do. That's my invitation to Tracy.
Sing,
but
chat,
then you can
enjoy.
Sing, chat, enjoy, she said. So then you'll have an opportunity to do that. But let us ground and anchor in this benediction, knowing that that which God is, the ever-presence of love, joy, and light is present right here, in, through, and as each and every person. That there is not a spot where God is not. That God, being the infinite, all that is showing up right here in every person, in every thought, in every word, in every emotion, and in every way that everyone in this beloved community serves and shows up. So what I know is that this year, this Hanukkah, this Christmas, this Kwanzaa season, this season of light, is right here and right now calling each person forward into celebrating the divine truth of their being in ways that have never been and could never be imagined. That each person, any fears, any doubts, all of this is right here and right now being reconciled, being forgiven, being shifted, being atoned, and being embraced in ways that show up in, through, and as us as greater power, greater awareness. And as Ernest Holmes said, this divine power of the omnipotence. Our thoughts have power, our words have power. The very beingness of our skin, our presence, is the power of God showing up as the Lord that each one is. I surrender this in gratitude, knowing it is done, and done oh so well. And together we declare this truth by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Love you all so very much. Blessings. See you soon.
See you soon.